Hello guys, welcome to Nello Stitches. Today we'll learn how to cut and sew this beautiful lovely kaftan dress. So I used 3 yards of fabric. This is a chiffon, a thick chiffon. 1.5 yards for the sky blue and 1.5 yards for the off-white. This is not white, it's off-white. So the fabric you can use to do this is a duchess or light crepe or a chiffon. So any fabric that can fall very well is okay for this. So this is where the sleeve is and the other side also. And guys, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe, like and share this video if you like it, if you find it helpful. So now let's get to the cutting table. So here is my sky blue chiffon, which is 1.5 yard, and I'm going to fold it in a bias form. So I spread it wide open and I will fold it in a bias form like this. Okay, so you cut in a bias form. So I folded it in a bias form like this, and I will take my measurement. So the width I used was 24, right? So I used 24 inches. Okay, and 1 inch is for sewing allowance. So 24 inches, you're going to use 1 inch, so you'll be left with 23 inch. So now, okay, so this is 24 inches, and I am going to take the full length of the dress. So guys, it's better to cut this on a floor, so use a wide space to cut this. I don't my floor is where I have a wide space is dark, so that's why I use this table. But I'll be moving it forward so that you guys will also see the down part. So now I'm going to pin this up so that it will not be shifting. But if I'm actually using a wider space, I wouldn't have been doing this, right? So I'll pin it down so that it will not shift when I move the fabric. So next thing I'm going to do is to take the full length of the dress, which I said I used the whole fabric for this. I did not cut out anything from it. It's by 60, so I used the whole length of the fabric for the gown. So you can take your desired length, maybe 50, 55, 58, any length of your choice. So I use the whole length. This is how the down part is going to look. Okay, this is the down part. So now I'm going to shift the clothes backward so that you see the upper side. So this is it. So this is the upper side. Okay, so next I'm going to do now is to cut this out. So before then, I'm going to mark a straight line. I'm going to mark a straight line because I want the upper parts to be straight. So I'm going to mark a straight line there right now. So here I'm marking the straight line using the same measurement I marked there. Remember I said the width was 24. Okay, I marked 24 inches there. So I'm trying to get a straight line so that I'll just cut this out. Okay, so having done that, next I'm going to do is to take my length from that straight line I marked. From the line I marked there, I'm going to take the length. Okay, so this is how you're going to take your length. Whatever length you're working with, either 58, 54, any length, just take it like this. But me, I'm using the whole fabric, so I'm just trying to show you how to take the length. So you just mark your full length like this. Like I said, cut this on the floor in an open space so that you fold and be comfortable. Like me now, I'm kind of struggling with it, pulling it up and down so that you guys can see what I am doing, right? So you take your full length, any length of your choice. So me, I'm using the whole length of the fabric. So now I'm going to just cut this out. So after cutting it out, next I'm going to fold the other fabric exactly the same way I fold this, and I will place this on top just to trace it. So this is it. I have folded the off-white satin, and this is the down part. As you can see, they are equal. So now I am going to cut it out exactly the same shape with the blue fabric. As you can see, it's very easy to make, very simple, right? So I'm going to trace this out using that blue pattern. I'll cut it out exactly the same. All right, so I'm done cutting it out. So what I'm going to do is to place them together like this. Blue to white to off-white like this. Right side facing the right side of each other. And I'm going to sew down on the wrong side. So I'll place them right side facing the right side. That is, if your fabric have the right side, have a right side and a wrong side. So you place them together like this, and then you sew down and sew the other side too. So I'll be back after that. So now I have joined the two sides together, the center front and the center back. Remember that the sewing is only at the front and at the back. So this is the center front and this is the center back, right? So I place them together also again like this. You fold into two again like this. And now we are going to cut our neckline. So the neck width I'm working with starts from the where you sew, where your thread is. That is where you start marking. So I'm marking 3 inches wide here. And then the depth is going to be 7 inches. I use 7 inches for the front neckline. 7 inches deep. Okay. So this is for the front. I'm going to curve it. So I use the V neck. You can use round neck or any neck of, round or V. So, but I use a V neck here. So now I'm shaping the neckline. So next I'm going to notch that point, the 3 inches width. I'll notch it here so that I can be able to cut the back neckline also. So after notching here, next I'm going to open this up and mark my back neck depth, which is 1 inch. I use 1 inch for back neck depth, so you can use 1.5. So now I'm going to curve the back neck depth and I'll cut it out. So next I'm going to cut the front neckline. So next we are going to mark our hand opening. So this is the back panel and this is the front, right? So now we are going to mark our sleeve opening. So on this side, you're going to mark 7 inches starting from the edge. Okay, from this point you're going to mark 7 inches like this for the hand opening. So you're going to notch here, you notch here. Next, you're going to open this up and pair them together, white to white, blue to blue. So you open it up like this, you pair them together, white to white, blue to blue, like this. Remember, all these things is on the wrong side of the dress, on the inside, because you'll be sewing on the inside, right? So you match them together, the two neckline, you match it together and sew your shoulder. Stopped at the notched area where the sleeve is going to be. You stop here at the sleeve opening where we notched. So from here to here you stop. Do the same thing to this other side using their thread color. Okay, the matching thread for it, right? So you're going to use the matching thread and sew it. You stop at where we notch for the sleeve. And then the down part, remember that the down part have a curve, right? So this is the front part. Remember, this is the neckline for the front. So here is the neckline for the front. So on that line, just pull it up sorry. So on this line, you're going to mark the curve, the front curve, right? The front has a curve, so you're going to mark the curves on that line. So I showed you the neckline so that you know exactly where I am curving from, right? So here I'm going to go up by 17 inches. You can use 20, you can use 15, depending on your preference, but here I use 17 inches. Okay, I went up by 17, and then I'm going to, from there, I'm going to curve up to the other edge, right? I'm going to get my curve ruler. You can use your free hand and curve from here up to the other edge, or you use a curve ruler. So I'm going to use this curve ruler to do that. So just curve it this way. So after doing this, I'm going to cut this out. But before then, let me show you. Just, you can use your free hand. You must not use the hip curve that I use. Just use your free hand and curve, connect like this in a curvy form to the edge, right? And then you cut it out. So now I'm going to do the cutting. I'm going to cut this out. So that is all. I'm going to fold this with half an inch. 1 inch, you fold with 1 inch, fold in half an inch first, then you fold again, right? So here I have joined the two shoulder, and I've also turned the sleeve opening on the white side. So let me show you how I did that on this other side. So you're going to fold half inch twice. Okay, make sure you notch after sewing your shoulder, you notch it so that you can be able to fold it, right? So you fold half an inch twice like this, and sew round the sleeve opening. So here I also turn this with 1 inch, half inch first and half inch again. You fold twice. So to make the neckline, I use facing. So just hold your neckline like this, hold it like this. You see the way I folded it? Okay, so you're going to get a two color, the same color. So this is what I cut out from the down part. I'm using it to make the facing. So you place it like this, and then you place your neckline on top of it. Okay, so this is the neckline, the back and the front together. Okay, and then you trace. So just place it very well. So I'm not getting it, I'm going to turn it around to get the desired length. So this is it. Okay, so now I'm going to cut this out. You can use your chalk and mark before you cut. So but I'm going to cut it now. I'm looking for my scissors. Okay, so now I'm going to cut this like this. So this part I'm cutting is the front, right? And this other side, this side here is the back. Okay, okay, so after cutting, you just bring it out, and then here is the back and here is the front. So you cut out your desired width for the facing. So you can use 4 inches, you can use 3 inches, you can use 2.5 depending on your preference. Okay, so just cut out the facing for your dress, the width, any inch you like for the facing. Okay, so here I don't really know, I just eyeball it, so I did not measure it. So I'm going to sew here. This place is already joined, so I will join only this side because this side is already joined. So you use half an inch for that. Okay, so now I've done that. So I'm going to place my neckline right side facing the right side of the dress, right side of the facing the right side of the dress. That is how you're going to put it. Follow the neckline. Okay, follow the shape. So this point, this upper part is the back one, remember. So we are going to place it right side facing the right side of the dress, right side of the facing the right side of the dress. Okay, so this is the right side. We're going to put it inside like this. Okay, and then you sew round the neckline. You match it up and sew around the neckline. Okay, so I'm going to do that and I'll be back. So now I have sewed the neckline round. So next I'm going to notch round the neck, especially at the V point, that front panel side. So I'm going to notch round the neckline and then I'll top stitch on the facing. I'll top stitch on the facing. So after notching and top stitching on the facing, you can use a hemming gum to hold the facing together with to the dress, okay? Or you tack it using needle and thread, okay? But I'll use hemming gum to do this. I use hemming gum to hold mine together. And that will be all for this tutorial, guys. Please, if you find this video helpful, please like it and also share with your friends and family. And if you're new to this channel and you've not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please hit on the subscribe button below and also click the bell icon beside it so as to be notified each time I upload new video. See you in my next tutorial and I hope you enjoy this video. Bye.